How to set up in-app purchases and in-app subscriptions for your Flutter app. I will show you exactly how you can monetize your Flutter app by displaying some packages to the users that they can buy as a one-time payment or on a subscription basis, which is then automatically renewed on a monthly or yearly basis. And we will also use RevenueCat for managing these subscriptions. Notice I have already created a video about in-app purchases for the Android platform. This video here is about setting up in-app purchases for the iOS platform. Also in this tutorial we will not use the official Flutter package in-app purchase, and this has one main reason. For the validation of purchases you need to write a complete backend server that communicates with the AppStore server and the Google Play server. Instead we will use RevenueCat, a beta variant, if you want to save time, because their server will handle this purchase validation for you automatically, so you can focus on building your Flutter app instead of taking days and weeks to implement also the backend server. All in all, we will use the official documentations of Flutter and RevenueCat for integrating in-app purchases and subscriptions by going through 3 simple steps. Firstly, we will set up in-app purchases and subscriptions for iOS. On top of it, we will configure then RevenueCat. Secondly, we will integrate in-app purchases and subscriptions into the Flutter app. And lastly, we will give the user access to special features in your Flutter app in case they have the right subscription status. Before we follow these 3 steps, we will quickly implement the purchases Flutter package into our Flutter app. Therefore, I have created 2 buttons and we only need to call this method purchase product, and then we need to specify the ID of the product that we want to buy. And the same thing we also do for the subscription, and also specify the ID of this subscription. To make this work, go to your pubspec YAML file and under your dependencies add the purchases Flutter package. Also inside of your iOS folder, go to the pod file and command this platform version out and set the version to at least 11. Next, right click on your iOS folder and choose open in Xcode. Inside the runner folder and runner target, you need to make sure that you set the iOS version to at least 11. Also go to the signing and capabilities tab and click on plus and add the capability in-app purchase, and this should then appear here at the bottom. This is basically the main functionality of your Flutter app, and now we only need to follow the official documentation of RevenueCat for also doing the configuration inside the App Store. So we go to the 4th step of this documentation, and in our case we want to set up the App Store Connect for iOS. And here as a prerequisite for this video is that you have already created one app inside of the App Store. If you have never uploaded an app to the App Store, then check out this video where you can learn how to do this. After this, go to your app and then go to the agreements by clicking on these 3 dots and choose agreements. And here it is very important that the paid apps agreement status is active. Otherwise you cannot do any in-app purchases with your Flutter app. In case you have not yet set this up, click on set up tax and banking, then you add a bank account with all the information of your bank account so that you can also get the in-app purchases payments later. Tick the checkbox and then you add your bank account. Next you need to fill out the tax forms for your country. In my case I also need to select then the US tax forms and say that I have no business in US, and then you go further, you download maybe this form so that you can check it out what it says, and lastly you enter some personal information of yourself. And when you have filled out this whole form, then you also need to give a signature and submit this form. Go back in the browser, and now you also need to add all the contact information. So I basically add my own contact information, and then you add the same contact information to all the other positions also, or you can also choose other contact information. Go again back in the browser, refresh the browser, and then it should say processing. After Apple has reviewed it, the status should turn to active so that you can use in-app purchases in your Flutter app. Next, we want to configure these in-app purchases that we can later buy in our Flutter app. Therefore, go to your app. In this menu, scroll a bit down and choose in-app purchases. Now click on this create button or this plus icon at the top to configure your in-app purchase product. This product can be consumable, which means the product can be purchased multiple times, such as coins, or it can be non-consumable, which means the product can be purchased only a single time, such as a book. In our case, we choose consumable so that we can buy it multiple times. Next, you can give your product an internal name, which image is not visible to other people. Also for this product, we need to give a product ID, and this product ID needs to be unique among all of your apps in your App Store. And therefore it is common to use here this notation. So first of all, the app name, then the price of this product, the duration, and also some other information optionally. So in my case, I take this product ID with the app name and the price, and then I click on create. Now scroll on this page a bit down to the price schedule, and then you can give your product any price that is then a one-time payment. And you also can click on other currencies to see how this price will be then in other countries. Alright, let's scroll further down. You also need to add some App Store localization, so click on Add Localization. Here you need to define two things. First of all, the display name that is publicly visible, and also some description for your product, and this is also publicly visible, and then click on Create. And finally, scroll down to the screenshot section. Here you need to upload a screenshot of your product or of the purchase page or paywall page so that Apple can see what product you are selling. And if you just do it for testing purposes, then you can just upload any image that has 640 by 920 pixels. Also, you need to scroll all the way up again, and then you need to make sure that you click on the Save button. And after this, we can go back to our in-app purchases. And now this product ID that you have configured should have the status ready to submit. Also, I have configured a second product that the user can buy inside the app, in this case 100 coins. And also make sure that then the product ID is unique. So here we have 100 instead of 10. Next to the one-time payment of coins, we can also have subscriptions, and therefore we need to scroll down and create a new subscription group. I call this subscription group Movie Subscription, which is only an internal name, and then I click on Create. Inside the subscription group, scroll all the way down to the App Store localization and then click on Create. Here you set the subscription group display name, which is publicly visible when the user buys this subscription product. And also this app name is publicly visible. So if you want to change it from Purchase Flutter in this case, then you can also use your own name and you can modify it. So I call it Netflix and then I click on Create. And secondly, we can add to this subscription group some subscriptions, therefore click here on Create. Again, give your subscription an internal name and a product ID, and the product ID consists of the app name, the price, and the duration of the subscription, in this case 1 month. After this, click on Create. Here we scroll a bit down to the subscription duration. We choose 1 month. After each month, there's a new payment circle. Also scroll a bit more down, and here you can define the subscription price. So I click on Add Subscription Price. Then choose here any price and click on Next. Here you see then how the prices are for all the other countries. You need to scroll all the way down, and at the end you click on Next, and also then on Confirm. For this subscription, we also need to add some localization. As before, this name and description is publicly visible if the user purchased this product. And when you are done, click on Add. Scroll all the way down, go to the screenshot section and upload a screenshot of your product or of the purchase page. And when you are done, scroll all the way up and click on the Save button. And then you go back to the subscriptions. And now if you scroll down, then you should see your subscription and also that it is in the status of ready to submit. Let's also scroll up and click on this plus icon, and this time we configure a yearly subscription and then click on Create. Here the only difference is then that you choose for the subscription duration 1 year. After you have completed the configuration for the yearly subscription, as I have shown before with the monthly subscription, then also the status of this yearly subscription should be ready to submit. One thing to notice about our subscriptions is that we have added both subscriptions, the monthly and also the yearly, to the same subscription group. Inside of a subscription group, users can only subscribe to one subscription, to the monthly or the yearly, but not to both. In case you want to have multiple independent subscriptions, then you need to add here a new subscription group. And then inside of this new subscription group, your new subscription would be independent from the other subscriptions that you have inside of your app. Now that we have completed the fourth step to set all the products up in the App Store, we can continue with the official documentation from the first step. First, you need to go to RevenueCat.com and create a new free account. Fill in your information and click on Sign Up. Next, you need to enter any project name such as your app name, and then you click on Create Project. Inside RevenueCat, you can configure the App Store for iOS, the Play Store for Android, and also other stores. And the great thing is that whenever a purchase is made over the App Store or the other stores, then the RevenueCat backend server will validate these purchases automatically for you, so you don't need to write your own backend. In our case, we set up the App Store for iOS. Here inside, you need to set your app name. Inside Xcode, you can copy the bundle ID from your app and then you paste it here inside. Next, we need to get the app-specific shared secret from the App Store. Therefore, you can click here on this eye and then you need to follow here these steps. So first of all, you need to go to the App Store Connect page, click on My Apps and choose the app for which you have configured the in-app purchases. Inside the menu, go to the subscriptions and scroll here all the way down to the app-specific shared secret and click on Manage. Then click on Generate, and here you need to copy then this shared secret. After this, go back to RevenueCat, click on the Set Secret button, paste this value inside and click on Set. Next, click on the in-app purchase key configuration. This file is needed so that RevenueCat can validate the purchases on their backend server for us. Therefore, back in App Store Connect, you scroll all the way up and click on Users and Access. Here at the top, click on Keys, and then on the left side, choose In-app Purchases and click on Generate in-app purchase key. Give it any name and click on Generate. Now under Active, you should see your generated key, and you can then download this key a single time. So click on Download. Back on the RevenueCat website, drag then this downloaded key into this Dropbox. Next, go back to the App Store Connect and choose App Store Connect API and click on Generate API key. Give it any name, and for the access, choose Sales and Reports and click on Generate. After the generation, you find the issue ID that you basically need to copy. So I click on this copy button. Back in RevenueCat, you scroll a bit down, and here where the issue ID is, you need to paste this key inside. And lastly, and most importantly, scroll all the way up and click on this button Save Changes. And finally, we need to connect RevenueCat to our Flutter app, therefore click on API keys, scroll all the way down until you find the app that you have created in RevenueCat, and here click on Show Key and copy this key. Then go to the main file of your Flutter project, and here inside you create this purchase configuration where you paste your API key inside. Also, we need to make use of this configuration, therefore inside the main method we use this configuration. With this, we have completed the steps 1 till the step 3 of the official documentation, and now we can move on to the 5th step to configure our products in RevenueCat. This step is pretty easy. Go to RevenueCat and then go to the product section. And here inside you need to link all the products that the users can buy from the App Store, from the Play Store, etc. In our case we have only the App Store, therefore click here on New. And here we only need to paste all the products ID inside that we have created before inside of the App Store. So if you go back to the App Store, then you can go to the in-app purchases, and here you find then this product ID that you copy, and then you paste it here inside and click on Add. In the same way as you have added this product with this product identifier, you also need to add then all the other 3 products. So back in the App Store, let's copy the product ID of the 100 coins, paste it here inside and click on Add. With this, we have linked both in-app purchases from the App Store. Let's also click on New. And then inside of the App Store, let's go to the Subscription tab. Scroll down to the subscription group, and I go into the subscription group. Then scroll again down, and here you find then the IDs of your subscriptions. And you basically copy also these product IDs, paste it inside and add them. And lastly, we copy the product ID of the yearly subscription, and also we add then in RevenueCat this new identifier. And with this, we have added all 4 products that we have configured before inside the App Store. And the last step is to take the product IDs that you want to buy inside of your Flutter app. So we take the 100 coins and also the monthly subscription. And then go to your Flutter app to the line where we buy our products. And here you just need to paste then the right product ID inside, in this case 100 coins that we want to buy. And also here the subscription, so I exchange it by this real product ID. And now we can click on this Buy Coins button, and then this pop-up will appear where you can buy these 100 coins. And notice this is only a test purchase, so if I click on Purchase, then this is not a real purchase. And after you have signed in with your Apple ID, then you click on sign in and you see that the payment was successful. And the same works also for the buy subscription button. Here we can also subscribe to this product. Again, it's only a test purchase, so this is not a real purchase. And then you see that the subscription was also successful. Notice to make these test purchases work on your iOS device, therefore you need to go to the AppStore Connect website, and here for your app go then to the Users and Access section. And here at the bottom you find Sandbox, where you can add some testers. So let's click on this plus icon. Here inside fill out all the information of your test account. The most important part is email and also the password that you need to remember. And after this, click on the invite button. And now you should see here your test account that you can now use for the in-app purchases. Therefore, on your real iOS device, whenever you now click on this buy coins button or buy subscription button, then you need to sign in with your Apple ID and password. For the Apple ID, use then the email that you have used for creating this Sandbox test account, and also enter the password that you have created before for this test account and then click on OK. And now you can see that your test account appears inside of this purchase dialog. And now if you click on this purchase button, then this is only a test purchase. Make sure to enter again your password of this test account and then click on sign in. And now you see that the purchase was successful. If you want to test out the in-app purchases on an iOS simulator instead of a real device, then you also need to follow here this documentation where you set then these configuration files, and you need to follow here all the steps so that it also works on your iOS simulator. And finally, inside of RevenueCat, you can go to this overview tab, and then you can see here the overview of all of your purchases. In this case, we made some test purchases, therefore click here on Sandbox Data. And then you can scroll here a bit down and you see here in this case that we have made some purchases. And you can click then on one of these users. And here inside, if you scroll down, then you see the customer history with all the products that this user has bought. Next, after a successful purchase, we also want to give the user some benefits inside of our app. Therefore, let's go here to the top inside of our state and let's create two fields. First of all, if the user is subscribed inside of our app and has purchased the subscription, and also how many coins the user has. Both of these information we want to display then inside of the body of our app. So first of all, I display here this log icon and the coins. And in case the user has subscribed, then we display simply another icon. First of all, let's start with the coins. So each purchase can be successful or also it can fail. So here it can fail if it goes into the catch block, and the same thing also for the other one. And after a successful purchase, we simply add then some coins to our app. With this, if we click here on this buy coins button, and then if the user buys some coins, and after the purchase was successful, then you should see that the coins are also added inside of our app. Of course, for a real project, you wouldn't add the coins directly after the purchase inside of the app itself. Instead, you would add the coins inside of your backend, and therefore you can also use RevenueCat easily. So you can go here down and then you can add some integrations. And here you have some webhooks with which your server can listen to new purchases, and after a purchase then the server can add to your user account some coins. Another way of giving certain privileges to the user after he has bought a product are these entitlements that are handled by the RevenueCat server. So for each product that the user buys, you can add some entitlements. Therefore, let's go here to the left side to the entitlement section. As you can see, an entitlement represents a level of access. So you give the user a specific access inside of your app. Therefore, let's create here a new entitlement. And here for the identifier, we want to use then all movies, which means we give the user access to all movies in our app when they get this entitlement. Also add here any description and then click on add. And lastly, we need to link this entitlement then to some products. Therefore, click here on the 0 products. And then you can add some products to this entitlement. So in our case, the user should get all the movies as an access in our app in case they have bought the subscription of 1 month. So I use here the product ID of the 1 month subscription and click on add. And also we do the same thing for the yearly subscription. Here, in case they buy the yearly subscription, then they also should get access to all the movies in our app. And therefore I click here on add. Next, inside the Flutter app, whenever the user bought one of these subscriptions, the monthly or yearly subscription, then he gets the entitlement all movies. And inside our Flutter app, we can basically check if the customer has this entitlement, and then we can give him some access to specific features. So let's copy this entitlement. In our Flutter app, inside the init state method, we listen to customer changes, and whenever the customer changes its information, then we call this update customer status method, and here we get then every time the new information of our customer, and from this customer we can then access all the entitlements, and we want to only get the active entitlements that are currently active for this user, and here we want to check then if the entitlement is this all movies entitlement. So this is basically this entitlement that we have created before for our subscription products. And now we want to check if this entitlement that we create here is basically not null. So if it is existing, this means then that the user has subscribed, and we can then update our field in our state. And when this field is updated, then we change this icon from this log icon to this paid icon. Let's also try it out when I click here on buy subscription. And then if we click on subscribe, you see that the subscription purchase was successful. And now that the user is subscribed to our app, you also see that this icon changed to this paid icon. And of course, if this is subscribe boolean flag is true, then you can give your user any specific features in your app to which he has an access, while the others have not access to this. And finally, we want to preserve the entitlements of a user if he logs in, logs out, or switches the device. For this, you can use the app user ID inside of your configuration, or you can also use the login and logout methods. And now whenever you log in this user, that is maybe an ID from your backend, then if the user makes any purchases with this user ID, it will be saved on the server. And now the user can log out again, log in another device, and still have all the privileges of our entitlements. And finally, next to the entitlements, we also have in RevenueCat offerings. And offerings are multiple products that are then displayed together on a paywall. So let's create one paywall. Let's create one offering by clicking here on new. As an identifier, I choose subscriptions. I want to have an offering where we display all the subscriptions. Also give a description and then click on add. With this, we have our subscription offering, our subscription paywall, and a subscription paywall also has multiple packages. So let's click here on 0 packages, and then we can add a new package. A package itself holds multiple products, whereas we have, for example, created this gold monthly SKU product on the App Store, and the same product also exists on the Google Play Store. And therefore you combine both of these products that are the same inside of one package. In our case, we only have the App Store, therefore we add only one product to one package. But usually if you have then multiple stores supported, then you have for each store one product added to your package. And lastly, once you have then created multiple packages, so we have, for example, the monthly subscription, the annual subscription, and also maybe the coins. And each of them is then a package, and you can then decide what you want to display on the paywall. You can then display the monthly package and the annual package, or you can also change it to different variants of what you want to display on the paywall widget. So let's do it practically. We can add a package, and here we add a package for the monthly subscription, and I also give it a description, and then I click on add. And now you see we have this monthly package, and to a monthly package we can then link multiple products. So let's click on 0 products and attach our product. In our case, we have only one monthly subscription that we can link to this package. So let's go here to this monthly subscription and attach it to this package. In case you have the same product, this monthly subscription, next to the App Store also on other stores, then you would attach here multiple other products from other stores. In our case, we only have the App Store, so let's go here back and let's also add another package. And this time the identifier is not monthly, we want to create an annual package, also give it a description and click on add. And as before, we have then here this annual package with the 0 products. Let's click on the 0 products, and to this package we attach then a product. And here we want to choose then the yearly subscription, and we attach it to this package. Let's also go here at the top back. So all in all, we have created one offering that is called subscriptions. Inside of this offering, we have 2 packages. We have the monthly package and we also have the annual package. And now we can use this subscriptions identifier of this offering to display it inside of our app. First of all, let's look at the result that we want to create. So we have the See Plans button. If we click on it, then we have a pop-up, and here inside we have two different packages. This is our paywall. We have the monthly package, and we also have the yearly package. And these are exactly the two packages that we have defined before inside of our offering. Let's also look at the implementation. First of all, we use the Purchases API to get all the offerings. So the offerings are basically paywalls. In our case, we only have one single paywall that we want to display in our app. Inside RevenueCat, for all of your offerings, you can choose one offering that is the current offering. So I have added here one more offering just for test purposes, and you can see that you can make this offering to the current offering. However, we want to keep it for the subscription, that this is our current offering. And now you can access the current offering, and we want to make sure that it is not null. So in our case, it exists already. So we will go into the else case. And from this offering, we get then all the packages. In our case, we have added two packages, this monthly package and also the yearly package. And lastly, we display then these packages. Therefore, I have created a bottom sheet, and inside of this paywall widget, we get then all of these packages. And let's also look here at the implementation. So if we go down, we have a method where we display then all these packages, and therefore I have created this build package method. And here we take then out of the package the product, and from this product we can then access the title, which is then here displayed at the top. From this product we can also access the price, which is here then displayed on the right side, and also the description, which is then displayed under this title. And lastly, if we click on any package, then we call this onClicked package handler, where we put the package inside on which we have clicked. And this is basically what I have defined here at the top. So let's look in the paywall widget also at the onClicked package implementation. And here we call then the purchase API. And in case of calling purchase product, we call this time purchase package. And here you put then the package inside what you want to buy. Let's also try it out. I click here on one of the packages, and now as you can see, you can subscribe to this package.